Here's the thing though. I know a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, oh God, here she goes talking about disruption. Isn't disruption just a buzzword? It's not. Disruption is a necessity in today's culture. When it comes to your business operations, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, someone else is going to come along doing what you should be doing 10 times better, 10 times faster. And the customers that you should be having are going to go to their business and they're going to forget all about you. I know that seems kind of harsh, but I've seen it happen over and over. Hi, I'm Erica. I am the head rebel in charge here at Rebel Bay Studio, and I'm here to talk to you today about why I believe traditional business operations are on their deathbed, or at least why they should be in some instances. Remember when operations meant endless spreadsheets, color-coded calendars? I know, how many times can you say color-coded calendars in one video? And rigid systems. For some businesses, those days are long gone. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing world, traditional business operations might not cut it anymore. So let's take Blockbuster as a perfect example of this. RIP, because I used to love that place as a kid, and I'm showing my age just by saying that. Blockbuster, though, they were the king of video rentals back in the late 90s and even early 2000s, but they failed to adapt to the rise of DVD rentals from Redbox and even streaming services like Netflix. And we all know how that story ended. This last store closed a few years ago. And the same thing goes for any business that clings to outdated operational practices. You're setting yourself up for failure in the long run if you don't learn how to adapt. To the cost of outdated business operations, according to a study done by McKinsey in 2023, companies that fail to modernize their operations are leaving about 20 to 30% of their potential earnings on the table because of operational inefficiencies. I don't know about you guys, but 20 to 30% of revenue can add up to a lot after a while if you're not looking at the things that are causing the gaps in your operations. Let's look at some other real examples. Kodak was the photography business. You might know them for having cameras. You might also know them for having film and doing things in the camera business. Well, they had an opportunity to be the Adobe that you see now, like how Adobe has all these cloud-based software programs instead of just being traditionally known for, having software on CDs. Instead of Kodak taking that opportunity to become more cloud-based, they didn't, and then Adobe took their place, and it completely transformed their operations to match what modern business owners actually need. Because after I looked this up for this video, and I didn't even know that was going to be a thing, but think about how cool and different that could have been for a company like Kodak, who already specialized in cameras and in photography tools, to actually create the software that people use to edit their photos. But it's not just about the big corporations who are struggling with this. I've also worked with other creative businesses and entrepreneurs who are working 60 hours a week, dealing with constant fires and emergencies in their business, and they weren't seeing the profit that they actually deserved, all because they were stuck using systems that they created, or maybe not even created, kind of just fell into when they first started their business, that weren't working anymore after a few years. And they also, after speaking with them, I noticed that they also weren't necessarily tailored or utilized to their actual strengths. But once we implemented a fresh, bold approach to their business operations, their businesses started thriving. They started seeing more sales. They started seeing more customers, and even their teams ended up being happier. I'm going to be sharing some examples in some future videos of what exactly I mean by this. But the truth is, when your operations doesn't match your vision, you're not just losing money, you're losing time, energy, and even opportunities for your ability to make an impact in your industry, and for you to be doing the work that you actually need to be doing. Not to sound all philosophical and crap, but I'm saying. So the other thing about this is that the business world is changing faster than ever before. I mean, like, we don't even know what's happening from the next day to the other day when it comes to TikTok and social media anymore. With the rise of AI, remote work still kind of being thrown up in the air, whether or not we're going to go all the way back to 5 days a week or still do some weird little hybrid situation. New generations becoming buyers. The old ways of doing things aren't going to cut it, and you have to keep up with the cultural shifts that happen in the times. And so if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you need to be able to embrace new approaches to doing business operations. Even those traditional businesses like law firms or doctors' offices, dentists. I had a client that was a dentist as well, so like I can talk about all those platforms as well. But even those niches that are very, very traditional can still find ways that they can improve their actual day-to-day operations. So here at Rebel Base Studio, we're all about disrupting the status quo. I think that creating operations that actually works for you in your business and not against you helps you thrive. So I'm going to be talking to you about what you can do to boost your profit and your productivity to actually scale your business. Everybody else, every other industry, marketing, all this stuff is doing all these exciting things, talking about, what is different in their industry. And here operations goes, being the old steady gal, being like, sub workflows, subbies, workflows. All it makes me want to do is go. So we're not going to be doing that here. Anyways, if you are ready to join this Operations Rebellion, which I hope you are, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Like this video, share it with whoever you know needs to actually hear this, because you don't want to miss a single video in this series, because I got some good stuff. I'm not just going to be sitting here talking to you about all my frameworks. I'm going to be showing you examples from common popular businesses that are trending right now, and even showing you stuff from artists like Beyonce and Rihanna and like cool people like that, how this can apply to your business and how you can utilize it to get the growth that you want. So I want to hear from you below. What is your biggest frustration with traditional business operations right now? And what would you love to see change in the business world when it comes to that? And also, what would you like to see change in your business currently? Leave a comment below and let's start a conversation. Remember, girlies that get it will get it. And I hope that you'll get it by subscribing to my channel.